I feel energy. I feel thunder. There is power beyond imagining. This must be the strongest Zoid of all. Thus I utter the ultimate name of power. Zoidzilla! Monarch of Machines! I am the Namer, guardian of the names of power. Before your world even existed, my people were an ancient race. Now they are gone, and only I remain, keeper of my people's history. Across the endless tracts of space have I traveled, to return to the planet of my birth, Zoidstar. Though my people perished long ago, and their cities were buried by the shifting sands, the machines remain. It is these that have brought me here to perform the last act of the Zoidarian race, the giving of the names of power. When my race was young and had an interest in the affairs of the galaxy, they built the machines, mighty engines of destruction which gave the power of life and death over the other creatures in the galaxy. The Zoidarians turned their gaze outward and laid waste to 1,000 star systems with their machines, their Zoids. But ruling a galaxy was not enough for the Zoidarians. It was not the conquests, but the battles they enjoyed. And though all intelligent life trembled in the shadow of the Zoids, my people battled on, machine against machine, Zoidarian against Zoidarian, in the further pursuit of glory. Zoidarian lives were needlessly sacrificed to the god of battle, and the race dwindled in numbers until the elders outlawed the Zoid duels. But they couldn't outlaw the Zoidarian love of combat. The Zoidarian pilots of the giant war machines were replaced by androids, and thus the heroic combat could continue without threat to Zoidarian life. Too late came the order. Too late to save a once mighty race from extinction, and now only I remain. Only I and the Zoids. And though my people created the Zoids, I have no power to control them. For the war machines have become the living embodiment of the Zoidarian thirst for combat, with lives and wills of their own. They exist only to fight, to ensure that their heroic combat lasts for all eternity. Now I stand on the sand-blasted surface of a world I used to call home, high on a rock, scanning the horizon for some sign of movement, knowing that out there, behind the sand clouds, lurk the deadliest war machines in the universe.
Revolution, handling the public evolution. Zoid force emerges stronger than before. Superior Zoids built for righteousness. proves the Gojulas match. Powerful gorillas and the best cats. Godzilla versus the gorilla. Helic versus the best killer. Gojulas, Zoid remains strong. Potent weapon, Helic Republic throng. Zoid warfare changed, now so must Gojulas. Gojulas Mark 2 critical Zoid mass. Gojulas Mark 2 forged black and white steel. Attacking Zenith, sword for the kill. Burning green-eyed Godzilla, Zoid no fear. Towering Tom monochromite is clear. Iron clear. But Iron Kong proves the Gojulas match. Powerful gorillas and the best cats. Godzilla versus the gorilla. Helic versus the best Zoid killer. Though surpassed Gojulas, Zoid remains strong. Potent weapon, Helic Republic throng. Zoid warfare changed, now so must Gojulas. Gojulas Mark 2 critical Zoid mass. Gojulas Mark 2 forged black and white steel. Attacking Zenith, swords for the kill. Burning green-eyed Godzilla, Zoid no fear. Towering Tom monochromite is clear. Shaped like Godzilla, no Zoid can match him. Gojulas Mark 2 tears Zoids from him. Slow but mighty, power and pride is healed. Gojulas Mark 2 stops the battlefield. Gojulas Mark 2 forged black and white steel. Attacking Zenith, sword for the kill. Burning green-eyed Godzilla, Zoid no fear. Towering Tom monochromite is clear.
Devastating though these machines may be, they are the least powerful of their kind. Stronger and more savage are the Power Zoids. Giant machines whose very passing can topple mountains.
Steel giants roar thunder in a land of dirt and wonder. Electric dreams of battle games. Robot lions play their names. Giants roar thunder in a land of dirt and wonder. Electric dreams of battle games. Robot lions play their names. Metal claws against the storm. Flashing lights, the beast is born. Metal soldiers fight unseen through a world of shattered dreams. Zoids arise, metal beasts awake. Fight the dark in a world that's fake. Zoids arise, you've got to break. Free from chains in this empty wake. In the shadows lurk the fate. Gears are grinding, sealing hate. Reclaim the land with iron hands. Through these fields of battered sands. Pulsing veins of oil and steel. Synthetic blood you cannot feel. March together in the night. Echoes scream of the endless fight. Rise from metal graves Heroes learn the fate. Gears are grinding, sealing hate. Reclaim the land with iron hands. Through these fields of battered sands. Pulsing flames of oil and steel. Synthetic blood you cannot feel. March together in the night. Echoes scream of the endless fight. Rise from metal graves so cold. Stories of the battle's bold. Glorious in the main light. Zoids reflect our primal light. Neon skies whisper against steel roars. Mighty Zoidzilla power like a storm. On the hunt through fire in his core. Blind Zoidstars war to transform. Red horn the terrible moves in red mist. Bloodlust in his eyes pure fist. Red mutants cross shadows twist. Long and blues aim never cease. Zoidzilla crush red horn's evil shell. Claws out roar through the cyborg hell. Lions rise, we break the spell. Red mutants fall to the blue king's shell. Zoidzilla crush red horn's evil shell. Claws out roar through the cyborg hell. Lions rise, we break the spell. Red mutants fall to the blue king's shell. Electric thrum of combat's rise. Metal clash under glowing skies. Blue coins rise when we break the spell. War drums we steal, never lies. And the battle cry shall pierce the night. Futuristic din, we embrace the fight. Mighty Zoidzilla, a judge to smite. Red arrows now before his might. Zoidzilla crush red horn's evil shell. Claws out roar through the cyborg hell. Lions rise, we break the spell. Red mutants fall to the blue king's shell. Let the battle cry shall pierce the night. Futuristic din, we embrace the fight. Mighty Zoidzilla, a judge to smite. Red warriors bow before his might. Zoidzilla crush red horn's evil shell. Claws out roar through the cyborg hell. Lions rise, we break the spell. Red mutants fall to the blue king's shell. Red mutants fall to the blue king's shell.
It is the never-ending battle between red and blue Zoids. It has been waged for centuries. It rages still, with no end in sight. I, the Namer, last of the Zoidarians, guardian of the names of power, keeper of the legend of heroic combat, have spoken.